During my experience with this Rolex, I've decided to go ahead and begin my misery of putting my name on the wait list. Here we are at the store with 3 good-looking watches. First is the Submariner Date with green bezel, which is nicknamed the Hulk. Next is the Submariner No Date, one of the iconic Rolexes, if not the most iconic, and a GMT Master 2 with a touch of gold. Of all these 3, the GMT Master caught my attention the most. I think it is unique, beautiful, and the gold hints actually suits the watch and doesn't make it corny. Now let's try them on my 6.5-inch wrist. It's honestly a different conversation when trying them on. I absolutely love all of these. These Submariners are a little bit bigger than what I would prefer, but not to the point where I won't be able to wear them. So, among these 3, the GMT fits the best with its 40mm size as opposed to the 41mm Submariners. It's interesting how much 1mm can make a difference. It's 1mm. It's almost nothing, but it makes a difference. But what do you guys think? Because my judgment is clouded by my desire to acquire all these watches. I think I can pull it off. I think it fits well, or just at the maximum allowable size for my wrist. We'll see if I can even get one in the next maybe 2 to 3 years. Who waits that long for a watch? I don't even know if I'll still like it in 3 years' time, but who knows? I'll be extremely surprised if I get it in a year. I'm not even hopeful, but I'm happy to be in a position where I can try them on and also borrow the Batman from a friend, which I've shown more on the previous videos. The Batman version of this GMT Master 2 is the model that I've put my name on for the waitlist. You'll see the size difference that 1mm make. I'd get both the Submariner and the Batman if there's an opportunity, but I'm choosing the Batman first since it fits better. And not only the case size makes the GMT more comfortable, the bracelet and clasp of the Submariner is also significantly bigger, hence making it feel heavier and bigger on the wrist. Wearing them both on the wrist gives you the final decision on which one to get, or maybe which one to get first, if you can financially afford both. And having them both on the wrist but not owning them gives you the impractical urge to just get these 2 watches. Because for now, the only thing I can do is imagine having both in my watch box and under my name. And in frustration of being told to wait for 3 years, of course, I have to look for one that is available just to satisfy the craving of having the option to buy them on the spot, which led me to try on some pre-owned Submariners. This first one is a pre-ceramic Submariner Date. Even though this is also 40mm, another interesting thing to point out is its case. It is slimmer, and that entirely changes how the watch wears and looks on the wrist. Now this is the ceramic bezel with a bigger case, or what Rolex calls a maxi case. It is not noticeable by just looking at a video, and even in person. You have to look closely or really know which is which. But as for me, since I don't spend a lot of time looking at Rolexes, it's almost identical. But let's try them on the wrist and I'll let you guess which one is the pre-ceramic and ceramic model. And as for their price point, they are both above 15,000 Australian dollars, which is totally absurd, considering that these are, if I remember it correctly, are both around 2003 to 2009 models. And that begs the question, is it worth waiting for a new one for 2 to 3 years without assurance that you'll get one unless you spend thousands and thousands of your money, knowing that a 10 to 15-year-old Rolex is up for grabs in multiple pre-owned watch stores? I think I'll wait. And now, I am even more frustrated, so what do? Look for an alternative just so I don't go home mentally empty-handed. Omega, Rolex's rival, specifically the Omega Seamaster 300M. What does the M even mean? Can someone please enlighten me? But let's try it on my wrist, and I also need more opinion. I love the watch, but I couldn't convince myself believing that there will still come a time where the case size will go back to 39 or 40mm. I think the dial's color plays a big factor in the illusion of how it fits. It certainly has a better case design than the 41mm Submariner with its curvier lugs, and at 42mm, it's still in the wearable vicinity on my 6.5-inch wrist, or at least that's how I look at it. So what do you guys think? Does it fit, or is it too big for me? The blue one certainly fits better because it looks more compact with a darker color, but it couldn't be more ideal if it was 39 or 40 millimeters. I said it before and I'll say it again, I'll jump on this in an instant if this goes back to a smaller case, but I don't know what I'm gonna do in the future. I might get this, who knows. I have a 45mm Seiko Turtle and it wears just fine. It would also look cool to have the Seamaster in my watch box beside my Omega Speedmaster. That would be a great combination. And lastly, let's also try the Seamaster on a bracelet. And I'll be frank, I hate the bracelet. It's heavy, it's uncomfortable, and it doesn't taper. It feels like wearing a brick on your wrist. So if I am to get one, it would be the blue dial on a rubber strap. But for now, I'll be going home with my borrowed Rolex Batman and ponder on adding the Seamaster in the collection.